All right, we are live. I think I started the countdown again because I think I caught you getting up or something. All right, so it's all good. It is all good for everybody that's tuning in. I have with me Sara Sue. She is absolutely amazing, and what I've decided to do is I know that I tend to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna do a show every week. I'm just gonna just wait until I'm inspired." Well, I'm gonna admit that's a little bit of escapism. I'm truly trying to get better, and that's one thing that I like to talk about on my platform is getting better. Right, getting better. That is the name of the game. So I'm making a commitment to do this thing every Friday with somebody that I'm inspired by. And depending on their schedule, it could be Saturday, it could be Sunday. But I'm going to do this thing as much as I can. And today, you all are in for a treat. I'm talking to Sara Sue. I am extremely inspired by her. I think I reached out to her about maybe 3-4 months ago. I sent her a DM. She ignored me because I know she's getting a whole bunch of press and all of that stuff already. She's like, "Oh, who is this dude? I'm not really going. Who is Tony Taylor, right?" But but one thing that I was inspired by Sara was that she is out there in the community, nationwide, doing good works. And welcome.
Thank you. I'm very inspired by you. You inspire me. I'm inspired by you in this. I see you just really living a full life. I feel like you have a vision and you want to be an influence, and you're just not holding back. So I respect your influence so much and what you're doing, and yeah, you inspire me.
Don't make me cry. I'm supposed to be saying all the nice things about you, Sara. What's up? You're breaking the rules. No, I appreciate you saying that. I'm just like any and everybody. I'm living this life, right? I'm trying to get to a point to where I am living a full life, right? And I'm just keeping up, right? Just keeping up with my family, keeping up with myself.
I think I wanted to say real. I don't mean to cut you off, but like you're very like real and just whatever it is. It could be even with the BLM movement, it's a very heavy topic. Yeah. But you bring the power behind it. You bring the influence behind it. You bring the leadership behind it. And I see you really standing up and trying to speak life into people. And so I guess I see you living like very like authentically. That's what I meant. Very authentically.
It's definitely a journey. It's definitely a journey. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, there aren't times where I ask my wife, like, what do you think? What should I say about this? How should I say about it? Because I think we all have our different way of, protesting. We all have our different way of, giving our different way of speaking out and speaking up. And for me, social media has been one of those things. Social media and giving, donating, my time, my actual physical time. But I carefully craft the way that I want to protest. So I appreciate you saying that. I definitely appreciate it. It's definitely one of those times that, like, I don't know, like everybody should be speaking out and speaking up about what's going on in this world right now, not just in Washington, not just in Oregon, not just in Idaho, but the world, right? It's a world. It's a world. Yes. It's a problem that we're all kind of facing. And if you think that you're not facing the issues that we're having as far as racism, the issues that we're having with everything, then you're sadly mistaken, because it's all of us. That's But what about you? What are you up to? Well, like I said, this ain't an interview. This just like last time. This is not an interview. We're just gonna hang out, right?
It's actually 75 and blue skies and sunny where I'm at. I'm in beautiful Central Oregon.
Yeah.
I started a business, On Demand Assistant, 2 years ago, and it's been such an interesting journey. I am just learning so much as I go, and I have been super busy. I've been shocked at how many people support what I've been doing. So even when I start to feel the pressure or overwhelmed, I just step back and think, wow, like people support you and you are blessed, girl. Like, keep going. So today was another busy day, but I was just looking forward to coming here and chatting with you about my other deep, deep passion on human trafficking and sexual exploitation, pimping and pandering. There's just so many. I've heard so many people, use a different word for how you explain it, but it's all really the same thing, right? Sexual exploitation, exploitation of women, children, men, boys, and it's a very real issue. And I think it really came to light like in 2008 when the stock market crashed. I think that's when law enforcement really started like seeing that this is a huge, multi-billion-dollar industry, and it was alive and well, and it was in our community.
Did you say billion? So, you said billion, right?
Oh, it's definitely surpassed now. Like we're in 2021 now, so it's been going on.
Wow.
My journey was interesting. A lot of people will ask why I decided to be a voice, and I really had to step back and think about it. And it's like as each season of healing came, going into inpatient after I got out of the game and working with mentors and life coaches, it opens like a new layer of you. And I really learned that there's things that we can learn in deep, dark places that we can't learn in other places. And so there's these people out there who know about this issue and they want to fight and they want to find a solution, right? Yeah. But they really need us. They need us who have been in the trenches, who have been in the game, who have witnessed it firsthand. And, I was silenced in the game. I wasn't allowed to speak up. I wasn't allowed to stand up for myself. I wasn't allowed to do those things. And so now that I do have a voice, I am able to do those things. And when I'm able to, there's so many different people that I help. I'll go speak with Oregon law enforcement at the police academy and talking to them about how I saw things happen, or even working with girls now and how they see things happening, how the game is changing. I'm able to help them so then they can find real solutions and they're able to really see and spot the things that are going on, right? And two, every speaking engagement I go to, I like pour myself out right into these people. I like totally expose myself. Like open myself up and just give them the most raw pieces of me, and share my family. My oldest son is a product of a rape, and really just give a very deep part of myself to all these people. And they always come back and fill me up. People want to give me hugs. People want to do things. But the ones that really speak to me are the girls who come to me and say, oh my gosh, I knew deep down what was happening to me when I was younger was what it was, but I just needed to hear you speak. I just needed to hear something, and I needed to know that there was a community out there, and I want to know. I want to get connected. Who are you? Will you talk to me? Can I, and it's like I'm able to open this door for them and put them in contact on, private social media groups, mentors, connections, therapies, resources. There was one girl that we were able to get into a program out in, Florida, and it's a beautiful place. And she's committed, 9 months of her life to just better days. And it's, we need that. We need girls who go through that whole journey so then they can help others get through that whole journey. And I think that's just kind of how the world keeps going,
Did you have that when you're in the game? And that's one thing that I want to say. I like that you speak the lingo, right? I like that you speak the lingo. You say in the game versus, like all of these fancy words that somebody else would use that weren't in the game, right? Because I feel like that gives you that street cred, right? That street cred.
Completely forget too, right? That there's this disconnect between the two worlds. And it's funny when it comes to it, because sometimes people ask me, like, what is a family? And I'll start breaking it down and, like the bottom bitch. And they're like, well, oh my God, and I'm like, I didn't want to say it, but it's like, you want to know it. And, gosh, the game.
You said the bottom bitch. What is that for those? Cause I'm looking and it looks like we have a lot of people watching right now. And I'm sure they're like, what is that? What is that? Because I feel like education is really, 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 really crucial.
Right. It's very different with each pimp, right? With each guy, trafficker, pimp, whatever it is. Some are super lenient and they have multiple girls, right? And there's just one girl that they have that they know they can trust her. Their loyalty runs deep with her. They know she's not going to run off. They know if one of the girls are doing anything shady, she's going to let them know, maybe even check them. She goes hard. She gets a lot of money. She does what he says. She probably sleeps in the bed with him, shares the room with him, gets to ride in the front seat. When I was in the family that I was in, I didn't sleep with a man who was taking me across state lines and pimping me out because I was just a hoe. So I never slept in the same bed with him. I was, I was lucky if he made food and offered me any, or let me, like when I came home after like hitting licks all day and taking calls, like to be able to take a shower. There was just no connection there. And it's interesting because I learned a lot about these guys when I got out, right? When I years later talked to detectives and they did this huge investigation and pulled all this information on these guys. And it was like this generational cycle being played out.
Yeah.
Because this guy came from a home where his dad was serving life in prison, right? For committing a murder in broad daylight. But before that had even happened, they had watched their father pimp their mom out to feed their drug addiction. So their whole entire life, they thought this is just how life went. They had never saw anything different. It was just what they saw. And so it didn't solve problems for me. It didn't whatever, but it was just interesting for me to see that. And then for me to sit there and watch, I got to see a lot. When you can't talk, but you can watch a person, you learn a lot about that person over the years. And so it was just interesting. It made so much sense, everything that had happened, or
yeah. You said can't talk. Was there a silence piece, kind of like a pecking order? You couldn't say certain things or do certain things when you're in that lifestyle.
Yeah. Or even just him thinking that pimping was totally normal. That's not normal. You can't. And I think in his mind, he's like pimping, right? Yeah. But in the justice system, it's not pimping. It goes to a whole new level. When you have a minor under the age of 18 and you take them across state lines, you are now trafficking a minor. Yeah. It now goes from a state case to a federal case. You just went from way bigger problems to even bigger problems, And right. So I think even for these guys who are in the game, right, and they're learning all these cool things, I don't think they know that there's all these people out here really fighting this cause, right? We've shut down Craigslist. We've shut down Backpage. We're creating laws where it's, where it's heftier. We created things where a guy can't go into a courtroom in front of a judge and say, I didn't know she was only 16. She told me she was 21. I just went off of that. Doesn't cut it anymore. He can never get and say, oh, well, I thought, too bad.
And is that a national thing?
Yeah, and that's in Oregon. And there's people in all states, trust me, that are working diligently to pass laws within their states. They are making the game harder for sure. And I don't think that these guys are really thinking about, what will really happen when they're doing these things. When they're flying girls out, flying them in, seems minor, but it's not. It's major.
So it's in a sense, it's like normal to them. It's not a big deal to them, right?
You one more time? You were breaking out.
No, I said so with them, it's not a big deal. It's just like life to them, right?
I think it's like a
Or
network. I think it's like a business. It's just like any other business. You know, they're striving to become better, figure out new ways to do things, more advanced, easier to do this. I think it's the same thing. You know, I think these guys are buying houses in other places and they're networking like, hey, next time you're in Florida, hit me up. You know, we have a house. And then it's like they can bring their girls there. And, you know, it's just like they're working together, they're networking. And it's like we shut down Craigslist, we shut down Backpage, and everyone's like, yay, victory. But at the same time, we're like, but now they're going even harder trying to find other ways to solicit these women. So now
girls,
we have to work.
right?
Yeah, so now we
Girls
have to work harder
boys,
to figure out what are those ways. You know what I'm saying? And we really rely on girls who are coming out to be able to give us that information. You know, and I was in that place 12 years ago where, you know, I'm out, you know, they need someone and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I really admire the work that you're doing. I'm pretty sure it takes a lot of courage, right? Even for you to be talking to me right now. I mean, I'm looking at this and it's like hundreds of people watching us from all these different platforms. And I just want to like applaud you because this shit takes some courage. I know there has to be like something inside of you that sometimes I say, you know what, I don't want to do this. And I know you've been on like national television shows kind of having the same conversation, right?
Yeah. You know, even though I've been out of the game for 12 years, like I still really struggle. You know, CPTSD is real and trauma bonds are real. And having to pick up all the pieces after going through years of that is real. And, you know, I'd be lying if I said the first 5-6 years when I got out, things weren't really bad. They were really bad for me. You know, I went through just different seasons of life, like just trying to fix what I was feeling or, you know, solve the internal mystery or, you know, just make myself feel better. And I mean, everything. I was trying yoga. I was trying, you know, religions, drugs, alcohol. Someone would come to me and say, try acupuncture. You betcha. I mean, like I was reading books, going to small groups.
You're trying to get
going to retreats, you know, and I just still felt this gaping hole. And I just felt like and I was at a point, you know, when I first got out, I didn't want to be alive. I didn't want to be alive. I felt like I had been completely broken down. Like, what good is there? How do I even hold a job after this? How do I even live a life? How do I even take care of this child? There were so many questions and I felt so broken inside. And I felt like if I couldn't kill myself, I was going to fight for myself and I was going to fight for my son that's here now with me and he's all I have. And by golly, I'm definitely not going to let him, you know, like a lot of like, I just hear so much like, well, I didn't have a father in my life. That can't be excuse for these young men anymore. Yeah. You know, like we need to build them up and empower them and show them like they don't know what they don't know. And I can't speak into a man's life, a boy's life. And I think that's too why like I appreciate you so much because you're this voice out here and you're not afraid to be an influence, to speak some life into people, to call it out, to say it how you see it and do it respectfully. I think that's the other thing is having a mutual respect that we all just want to see this world a better place. We all want to see everyone rehabilitated, thriving, healing, living their best life. Like even the guy who did this to me, go get some help, you know, go learn a new way of living. Go learn the things that your dad didn't teach you because there's so many resources and men out there who can't wait to speak into your life. And, you know, like, gosh, like go get that.
Redemption? Do you think that there's redemption? Because obviously I know that there's redemption. There was redemption for you, but do you think that there's redemption for people like him or you know, people that are the pimps in a game or whatever?
I mean,
That's a
He had a
tough one,
Bible
huh?
on the mantle in the house that we lived in. He had a Bible on the mantle, and I noticed he would do devotions each morning, and it would really throw me off because, like, who are you? You know, like, I just didn't. So, like, for him, I'm like, if you are a man of God, like, I hope you have that earth shaking moment, you know, where like your life changes and like you can break the generational cycle. I feel like for everybody, it's something different. Like if you're not a spiritual person, maybe it's just like you living a really healthy lifestyle, you know, like what you put out into the world comes back to you, you know, or maybe someone who doesn't believe in that and isn't religious. Maybe it's just about taking care of your body, like what you eat, drinking a lot of water, exercising, or, you know, maybe someone's Buddhist. Like, I don't know what that looks like, but whatever he is, whatever it is that he needs in his life, like I just put it out to the universe that he gets that. I hope he gets whatever he needs, and I hope that I can get whatever I need, you know, and I just, like, if he's still in the game, great. Do you? One day it's going to catch up to you. You don't get to do illegal activities, and the law doesn't get to catch up to you. It never works out that way. It always catches up. So it's like, why not just do the right thing? It has to happen sooner or later, you know? But I know for me in my life, I ooze awareness and prevention because I literally lose sleep sometimes at night thinking about awareness and prevention because it breaks my heart when I think back of the young girl that I was to think about what she went through. It breaks my heart to think that there's other young girls out there that could go through that. Yeah. So if I have to expose myself and bear all, I'll do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think what you're doing, is so beautiful and so courageous because you're saving so many people right now. Yeah. Just the things that you're doing. I know that that you've enacted certain laws. Can you tell me a little bit about the laws that you've helped with?
Woo! You man, I get
moment.
so fired up sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I just spend every chance I get. Like,
yeah.
You know, like even when you approached me, absolutely, because I know out of this, like I'm going to hear from somebody and then we'll be able to speak in somebody's life. We'll be able to change the course. And, you know, that's all we can hope for, right? Like play your part. Right. I'm sure that you've been through things in your life that you've been, you know, you could probably speak to better than me and other people. So it's like play your part in that area, you know, like reach those people, speak your prevention, speak, you know, like whatever you can to like, and there's also people out there in the world that were like me when I was a teenager. I had to make the same mistake like 5, 6, 7, 8 times before I realized it was a mistake. And sometimes people don't want to listen to what you have to say and they want to go make that mistake themselves. But at least they can be a little bit prepared for what's going to happen. I grew up in a very wealthy family and we didn't have talks about real life. So when all this was happening to me, I had no idea what was going on. This guy's talking about break bread, and I'm like, what does that mean? I'm thinking about like rich people breaking baguette bread with some wine.
You're thinking about dinner.
He's not talking about breaking baguette bread. He's talking about getting money, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like the first few months of even being in, it was like a shock. Like, how did I get here? What is going on? What is he talking about? I don't know. Like, I knew nothing, you know?
As far as prevention, because I know we have a lot of parents that are watching, what are some things that you can kind of say to the parents as far as things to prevent their kids from kind of going down this road? What are some tips and some tools? And I got my pen over here too, because I'm gonna write them down. I got some kids here that I'm watching day in and day in out, right? Yeah.
You know, I think parents need to have real conversations with their kids. You know, there's kids in middle school right now, Tony, that are having sex. Like they're sneaking around, they're having sex, they're doing, and I'm like, no way, but yes way. And so it's like, if we don't sit down and have these conversations with our kids about sex, they're going to be having sex probably unprotected. And, you know, it's just like, sit down and have these uncomfortable talks. And there's ways to do it too. Like, it totally doesn't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to be an hour long. Like, it doesn't have to be that. But even when I was in the game, something else that was, I just always feel so important to let parents know. This guy was constantly role playing with me. If you run into a cop, this is what you say. If this person asks you this, this is what you say. If they say this, you say this. They say this, you say that. Like, you know, and we would role play. Okay, what do you say? You know, don't ever say my name. This is my fake name. This is, you know, like, and it wasn't just like once in a while. It was constant. What do you say? What do you do? What do you? So we were conditioned. We were, you know, and so I feel like role playing is such a powerful tool, and it can be used for really great or really bad. And I feel like parents really just need to get creative, find a way to like have a conversation with your kid. Like, hey, you might not want to have this conversation, but as your parent, I need to prepare you for absolutely everything that could happen to you in this world. You are my daughter. You're beautiful. You are smart. Someone is looking to maybe take advantage of that one day. I pray not. But if they do, I just want you to be able to say no. And I want you to understand that, man, they say, well, why not? Come on. Da, da, da. You owe nobody an explanation. When you say no, it means no. There's no why. No. You know, and like, well, Dad, what if they keep coming at me? Okay, well, you turn around and you walk away. You want to look for a lighted area. You want to find the nearest, you know, person, walk up to them. Hey, this guy's following me. Can you just stand by me until I can get my friend down here? I'm just calling her right now. I'm calling my roommate. She's coming. Can you please stay? You know, whatever it is, like, teach them the tools that they need to protect themselves when you're not around. Yes. My biggest regret in my life is thinking that not shit would happen to me in my life. And guess what? When it happened, I was stuck. I didn't know. Like, you know, I did not know. And that is the worst position I feel like we could put our kids in, not knowing how to stand up for themselves, how to set a boundary, how to say no, how to say, wow, I'm feeling something, but my gut is telling me I can't have sex with you. We're only 15. You know, like, whatever it is, like, man, instill some things into your kids now. Like, and it's, you know, you might think they don't hear you, but I promise you, they're going to get into a situation and that little memory is going to pop back. Man, I remember that one time my dad said, I can say no and walk away. No, you know, and they leave. Like, it's just, it starts with conversation. If you think that you live in a neighborhood where your kids are going to get approached on anything, drugs, sex, you know, takes 5 minutes to role play. Oh, hey, come on. Your kids are going to be like, ew, gross. I feel so uncomfortable. Great. You're going to feel really uncomfortable when a dude is putting his hands on you, touching you, saying, oh, yeah, come on. You're going to feel uncomfortable. So great. You don't feel uncomfortable. How are you going to respond? What are you going to do? You don't know? Okay, listen. You're in a party, and if you know that you're not supposed to be at that party, but you know you're in trouble, guess what? You're going to get a get out of jail free card, but you better call me and give us the code word. Don't give anybody else the code word but you and her. The code word could be purple elephants. What time is Gilligan's Island on? She can call you, hey, Dad, what time is Gilligan's Island on? You don't say another word. You already know what that means, babe. Send me, share your location. I'm on my way. Done. You know, go pick her up, put her in the car, commit to not saying a word that night, because guess what? You freak out on them. They're not going to do that next time. Yeah. If you're trying to build a plan and you're trying to protect your kids, this is about building a relationship. Relationships are hard. Yeah. You know, but it's like being able to the next morning, hey, Melissa, whoa, you scared the crap out of me. I was dead asleep. I had no idea. You called me. What time is Gilligan's? By the way, awesome job on that. We executed the plan. You shared it. I was there. I picked you up. That's what I want to do every time, babe, please. But what are you doing? Like, do you want to go to a party? Do you feel like you need to do that? Like, can we somehow come to a middle ground? Like, I'll let you go to a party, but like, don't drink, or, you know, like, let me pick you up, or, you know, like, it is 2020. do not come at your kids with that, I don't know. Like, my parents, my dad was a cop. Oh yeah, my dad was a cop. It made me just want to push back more. I felt like there was no connection there. So that's honestly what I would say to parents is, whatever your family dynamic is, being able to create a safe space and being able to have conversations, because it's so important. If you're not having conversations, your kids feel insecure in that relationship. They don't know where you're at. They don't know if they can trust you. Is she going to freak out? Like, they just don't know, like they don't know. So it's like creating a really like cool space, just for our kids. They're so important.
I love that you said that. I remember talking to my son the very first time. Can you hear echo? Is there echo with me? All right. No, but I remember talking to my son the very first time about sex. I said, hey, son, sit down. Let's talk about sex. And he go, oh, yeah, Dad, what do you want to know? And I was just like, oh, man, we should have had this talk a long time ago. So I'm glad that you brought that up. For the parents that are watching, talk to your kids about sex early on and what to do if they get in those situations. I think that's very, very important. And I think sometimes we can lose sight of, when is the time to have that talk? And what do you think 11?
I think going in prepared too, though, parents, right? Like, sit down with your significant other. What's even important about sex? What's important that they know? What's important that they don't know? Like, I've gone into conversations blindly. Did not end well.
No.
Awkward.
So make sure you got a game plan, right? That's what I'm getting. Have a game plan. This work that you're doing, I'm almost speechless because you're doing it. You're doing it. Do you feel like this is your life's purpose? Like, what is your purpose? That's something that I wanted to ask you last time we talked. What's your purpose?
What is my purpose? My purpose, I always want to say something cheesy.
No.
Like my kids. My purpose is my kids. Or my purpose is, my husband. But I feel like my purpose in this world is just to try and like be my best self and to keep working on healing so that I can really give all of like my purpose and all these like great qualities that I have to myself. And it's like, sometimes I feel like there's so much going on and I don't know where to, I don't know how to push it all out into the world. And so I think it's just like, my purpose is continuing to just be kind and be a good person and keep working on myself. So then in turn, I can, my kids don't need like a good mom. They need a happy mom. They need a healthy mom, right? My parents, who I've gone through so much with, I don't need to stay bitter and angry at them, right? Like, they need a healthy, healed, happy daughter where we can come together and say, hey, it happened. How do we just go forward? Like, I forgive you. I apologize, whatever needs to happen. But it's just, I have lived in these dark places and I just, it gives me so much more like, sometimes when I think I'm struggling, I look back and I'm like, oh no, I am so good. Like, it's all right. So like, those places gave me so much appreciation for today. Right. And, I just want to learn how to like utilize my crazy good skills. And I just want to be able to give this world just everything I have to offer. Because the future matters, right? Like, we have these kids and they're growing and there's riots and BLM and there's just all these things going on in the world. And so like, I want to focus my time and my energy on just like trying to put out like this good vibe and this good energy. And, it's almost like, and I want to be that to everybody I come in contact with. Like, I want to be like, someone comes in contact and they leave our conversation feeling like, whoa, I feel full. I feel like I got something out of that, you know, instead of feeling like, well, that was dumb, you know, like, why did I do that? Or, oh, on to the next thing. You know, I want people to remember, like, or learn something, or just, you know, like, life is so much deeper, I think, than how we do it. We're just so used to going day to day and rush, 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 work, kids, family. And I just want to be more than that. So I think my purpose is just living a more intentional, full life. And just in every moment, just trying to like be my best self.
I love that. One thing another thing I want to ask you.
Oh no, you're muted.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
If my wife is listening, we need to upgrade the Wi-Fi. So, but I was going to ask you, what about somebody that's in the game right now? What advice would you give them as far as how to get out of it?
I didn't hear that last part.
I said, as far as how to get out of the game, somebody that might be in the game right now and they might need some resources. What are some resources as far as getting out of the game? I'm so sorry. Okay. I'll write it.
Like,
You can improvise. All right. There we go.
oh, okay. So they say the first 3 weeks in leaving is like the most dangerous. So I don't ever recommend like a girl just walking out unless she feels like she totally can. I left on a call. I was on a call and I just left with a John and I never looked back. But now I'm facing a lot of repercussions for that. Like people who think I left the game wrong and I owe money or, you know, just different things. And so I'm facing like just different things with that. There are so many resources. There are so many resources. I've gone to so many states and done public speaking and I will just Google at night, right? I'll be in the hotel room and I'll just Google resources available there within that state. And I come across at least 10 always. And the thing about it is when people call and you get a no, I always tell girls one of the most important things to ask is, even though there's no resources available here, do you know of anywhere else that I can call right now or anyone who might have resources available right now or to me in my situation, and then take those numbers down. It's such a grueling process though, honestly, but once you get connected in different churches or human trafficking nonprofits locally, 9 times out of 10, they have all the numbers to people that you need to know. They have emails to everything within your community. I also am on all social media platforms. So I have people reaching out to me all the time asking me hey, I'm in this state. Do you have any resources? Do you know? And I'll pass along whatever I have. And even if I don't have resources, I'm a part of groups where I can jump on those groups and just kind of ask around. And I don't think there's ever been a time where I haven't been able to pass something along. So honestly, wherever you're at, Googling human trafficking resources, starting there, making those phone calls. If they don't have any resources or connections, which I highly doubt it, if you have a nonprofit in human trafficking and you don't have not one connection at all, this is probably the wrong area for you. So, but even a lot of churches I notice are wanting to get more and more involved in human trafficking. So, like here in Oregon, I know a ton, California, Florida, all over the place. So it's really just about connecting with the right people and where you're at. There's also the human trafficking hotline. So at any time, if someone thinks that they're witnessing a situation of like pimping and pandering, human trafficking, they can call the human trafficking hotline and report it. People always ask, should I like approach and intervene? Like, no, you definitely shouldn't. You should definitely start taking down license plates, descriptions, all information you can possibly gather, taking pictures, anything you can. You know, but even for like girls, I helped in the state of Oregon pass the stickers. If you're in a bathroom and you see the stickers in the back of the stalls, those are meant for girls who are in situations where they can't have a phone and, you know, like they can't, you can write that number down or even just memorize it. It's super easy. You don't have to explain your situation. These people are trained. They know how to like read what's going on, not read what's, you know, but like you can give them the gist of it. They'll walk you through it. It's literally a lifeline. So yeah, honestly, people are onto it now. The resources are flowing in. Girls more than ever, if you're out there facing this, go find the resources. There's so many. There's people who can't wait to be an army and just help you fight.
Yeah, and we're gonna fight with them, right?
Yeah.
How about, can you hear me now?
I know.
Yeah.
You're back.
So, yeah, I was just going to tell you, thank you. I thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You doing this. I know that it is hard to talk about this, so thank you so much. And you are a motivational speaker as well, right?
Thank you. Yes.
So where can somebody find you if we wanted to book you for an event or even just to reach out and talk to you? Where can we find you?
Yeah, 5. Man, I don't know. I don't even know if I heard you right because you sound so far away. Oh my gosh. No.
This is embarrassing.
Everyone's having the problems. It started with me, right? Remember my computer was like, nope.
I know, and that's why I was like, oh, we got to do it again.
Yeah.
So
okay,
what I'll do is I will go ahead and get off.
Oh my gosh.
I'll get off.
Okay.
And I will post some contact information for you, and we'll talk later. How about that?
Okay, done.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for doing this.
I appreciate you so much.
All right. Awesome.